Greetings and salutations, YouTubers. This is Zillafan85, back today with my latest video. I've got another figure review for you, and today we're going to go ahead and look at my NECA Alien Xenomorph 35th Anniversary figure. This, of course, the as he's called and as he became noted as Big Chap, the original Xenomorph, of course, from the original Alien movie in 1979. I figured this year, where we're currently at, this being the 40th anniversary, I thought it would be kind of a neat little idea to go ahead and review this figure. I got this one, I believe a couple years ago, if I'm not mistaken. I bought it on eBay. I actually got a really good deal on it from the seller. So I was definitely very happy about it. It came in, because this was 35th anniversary, so this was released 5 years ago by NECA. So it came in one of those blister packs. So I no longer have the packaging for him. And he didn't come with any accessories or anything like that. Just the figure itself. But it was a really, really awesome release. I think NECA did just an amazing job with this figure, and I was definitely very happy to add this Xenomorph to my collection, because to me, the true standout Xenomorph is always going to be Big Chap, the original from Alien. I know a lot of people do gravitate more towards the Xenomorph Warriors from Aliens, which I like them a lot as well, but, Big Chap being what was, what's considered a drone, if you look at the Xenomorph family. Like I said, I just always preferred this one. I prefer the original Alien film as well. I do like Aliens a lot. 3 and Resurrection, not so much, to say the least, and etc., etc. But the first 2 Alien movies to me were just amazing, and especially the original. I absolutely love it. Definitely has a real horror kind of feel to it, and it's one thing I always liked. Like I said, I think NECA did a really, really nice job on this figure, and then, of course, like I said, this year currently being the 40th anniversary of the original Alien, I wanted to go ahead and review this guy. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, folks. So we'll start with the paint job. For the Xenomorphs, basically, very, very... I'm not going to say uniform color, but, just that black skin that he's got all around him, so you can see the paint applied to his body here. And it's, NECA, I think, just did an amazing job. You guys can take a look all around. The way they did the black paint, it really looks good. It definitely looks movie accurate, in my opinion. So you got that for the main paint scheme of his body. Then you've got like the claws, the finger claws, as well as the toe claws, which were done in sort of a silverish type paint, if you guys can see that there. And that I believe that is pretty movie accurate as well. Trying to remember back to the Xenomorph's claws, but I think that is fairly movie accurate. And that's one thing NECA usually does, because they usually do pay very good attention to detail there. So I like that. And then, of course, for the teeth, more of the same. Again, with that silverish paint there. Hopefully it'll focus so you guys can take a good look at that. Inside the mouth as well. And then, of course, you got the secondary mouth as well, where you can see that that silverish paint scheme as well for that, with the teeth and all. Of course, a little bit more of the black as well on it. So they did a nice job blending the paints together here. And then, of course, for the dome on the top of the Xenomorph's skull is like a translucent. It's not really clear translucent. It's like a milky translucent color, but again, very indicative of the way that he looked in there. I'll get more into some of this with the detail, but that sort of milky translucent color does look really, really good, I think. And that's definitely one thing I really like. Another thing as far as the paint goes, and I was kind of debating whether I should include this as far as a paint or detail work, but I guess we'll do it with the paint. As far as the black goes for his skin, on the Xenomorph skin around his body, as you guys can see, it's not just like a plain black paint, it's like a very glossy paint to make it has like a sort of like a wet wash on it. It's not wet at all, but it's got that sort of glossy wet wash to it, you know, to make it, you know, look very, very, you know, slick and like it did in the film. That's a really, really nice touch that NECA added with this guy. Like I said, I happen to really love this alien figure, this Xenomorph. Just really, really awesome in my opinion. So I definitely wanted to make sure I highlighted that. So that's about it for his paint scheme. Like I said, the Xenomorphs, you know, not too much as far as paint goes. You know, pretty simple colors. As far as the detail work goes, I'm not going to nitpick at every little thing here, but you guys can see, though, the detail work that was put into it. Like I said, you know, the inclusion on the head there, the dome. The one thing I did want to point out, other than that translucentness to it, that you can also see underneath the translucent that they actually did include that sort of skull that you can see inside the Xenomorph's domes. And you guys can see that there. They actually did include the detail work on that. Hopefully the camera picks it up somewhat decently anyways. Really nice job though all around on the face. Well, all the detail work. Like I said, I think they really knocked it out of the park. Got the detail work for the mouth there with the sharp teeth and the inner mouth. As you guys can see when you open it up there. Got the tubing on the sides of his face there, as well as all the detail work and the grooves on the sides of his head. So here it's got that rough grooving, and then of course you got the smoother part of the top of the dome. And it's a really nice blending of the two, and of course you got all the details, all those like tubes and spines that he's got on his back there. This center one actually did come separate from the main body, and you just had to pop it into place. It was a bit of an annoyance, but not too bad though. But it looks really cool, and you guys could see the spikes and all that. They're not sharp, but you know, definitely detailed very well. Trying to make sure you guys can see that with the tubing and the spines that he's got on his back, and of course the spines that go all the way down his back as well, down into his tail. There, as you guys can see, all the detail work that was put into the tail as well really capture that look that Big Chap had from the film, as well as that needle point on the end of his tail. You guys can see that there. That looks really, really cool. The legs and the arms both have all the detail work on them. You get the spikes on the elbows there. This one not perfectly straight, but not too bad though. It's just a little, just from, I guess, wear and tear. But still looks good nonetheless though. There, and then of course on the backs of his feet there, you got those talons on the back there. Nice. And they do have a bit of sharpness to them as well. So you guys can see those there. Again, like I said, and all the grooves and the line segments and everything going along his arms and his legs. So you guys can see all that. And obviously Xenomorphs have a lot of detail work on them. They are very detailed. And of course you can see like that on the chest and abdomen area, that bony structure that he's got about them. And they really captured that look well. I really, really like how they did this here. It's one thing I have to admit, I really love these NECA figures. I love the Godzilla figures that they've released. And I love a lot of their other lines, the Aliens, Predator, which I do have the Predator 2 City Hunter figure, the ultimate one. I'll review that one in the future for sure. As you may or may not know, I already reviewed my Friday the 13th Part 3 Jason figure. I did that last year for, part of the Halloween, horror-based videos. So this time around, though, like I said, because it's the 30th anniversary, I did really want to cover the Xenomorph. So I think that about covers it for what I was going to go over as far as paint and detail goes. Like I said, there's a lot to it, And again, even again on the feet as well as the hands, because I didn't really get into those too much, but you see he's got these claws and everything. The way that they're designed really looks like they do in the film, as well as the feet and the way that they arch. So again, just wanted to kind of pay attention there as far as all that work that was put into this, because this to me is just an amazing figure. I was really blown away by it once I got it. So that about covers it for the paint and detail, though, folks. I think it does this time around. So the other thing that we're going to look at is the articulation. And I'm sure, as you've kind of already noticed, that he's got quite a few parts of articulation, which is very indicative of what NECA does. So we'll start at the head here. As you see, I guess it's on some kind of ball joint. So it does, you can kind of nod him up and down and shift the head a little bit side to side. The range of movement, though, on the head is very limited, just because, A, the design of it, and B, of course, because of the that tubing and stuff that he's got from his mouth. So it's limited movement in the head, but I think it does work for what it is. The mouth, as I'm sure obviously you've noticed, does open and close. However you want it displayed. Unfortunately, I tried to see if the inner mouth has articulation on it, if it could come out, but unfortunately it doesn't. And I think I did look up other reviews on this in the past, and they said that the inner mouth doesn't move. So that was a little bit disappointing, but it's one of my only nitpicks of this figure. So, because otherwise, I think this is just pow. Then, as you can see, you've got the shoulder articulation here. You can pretty much get it all the way around for the arms there, and as you can see too, not only that, but you can swivel them as well. So do some different poses with those, and of course you've got the bends at the elbows there. And you can do a little bit of a swivel at the elbow as well. Trying to show the elbow and not the shoulder, but you guys can see though there. I don't think you'd get that all the way around, but you can definitely swivel them. And then of course, as you may have noticed as well, you've got the bend at the wrist, so you guys can do some different things with that as well. So that looks pretty good too. I like the way that you can articulate that. Nothing in the fingers, but definitely gets the job done at the wrist. So really, really like that. Okay, and then of course at the waist here, you guys can see you've got some kind of ball joint there. So you can do the ab crunches and do different, swivel him at the waist there, and actually, whoops, I didn't mean to move the camera. We'll get him all the way around. So you can do that. And like I said, do some different poses there. And then of course the legs, which can kick out. Legs. These ones, I don't think you're going to get them to go full circle. But you can kick them out and forward and back a bit. They're just kind of hindered because of the design of the figure. But definitely a nice range of movement nonetheless, though. So it definitely accomplishes what you're looking for. And of course, you got the bend at the knees here. These almost look like they're double jointed, but I believe that they are single jointed. So you've got the nice, and it's a nice bend though. It does give you a nice range of movement here. And I didn't really have any trouble with any stiffness on this guy, not too much the whole time I've had him. So definitely happy about that. And then of course, as you can see, you've got the bit of articulation at the ankle there. Not so much to, more of a swivel than being able to bend him at the ankle, from what I've noticed. I don't know if it's different on any other Xenomorph figures, but on mine it's really just a swivel at the ankle. However, you do have a bend at the toe joints here, as you guys can see. So I guess that does kind of make up for the lack of the ankle bend, because you got the bend at the toe, and it's got a nice, decent range that it can move. So, and it definitely helps with the posability. So, one thing to note is this guy is not the easiest to stand. He definitely takes some messing with here, as you guys can kind of see me trying to mess with him just for the sake of the video there. Hopefully he'll continue standing, I'm sorry. But if you can get him to stand decently enough, then he definitely looks really, really good. I was trying to see, there's unfortunately no peg holes on the bottom, so wouldn't be able to put him into a display stand that I'm seeing. But you just have to try and mess with it as best as you can. And the other thing, as far as points of articulation goes, is the tail itself has a bendy wire in it. Now I, as well as other YouTube reviewers, have stated, as far as bendy wires go, I don't like to mess with those too much, just because of the fact that you can run the risk of breaking the bendy wires. So for this one, I like to do it just enough so that I can be able to balance the figure out and get him to stand. So that's the main thing that I wanted to get achieved, I guess you could say, as far as the bendy wire goes, because it does obviously help him to balance. I prefer a better pose than that, but for the sake of this, about as best as I'm going to get for right now, just to get him standing. But not too bad, though. So that about covers it. And so we got the paint, the detail, and the articulation. I don't really mess with sizing too much. If anybody does follow along with my other videos knows. Now, as far as size goes on this Xenomorph, though, he is roughly in the 8-inch range. So if you want to kind of put him in with figures that'll kind of go in with that scaling, then he would definitely match up. So as far as a 6-inch figure goes, though, he would certainly tower over a 6-inch figure. But like a 7 or 8-inch figure, he'll pretty much go right in there. I have seen these on eBay. I've seen them vis-a-vis numerous sellers, at least in the past. At the time when I picked him up, the price range was fairly reasonable as well. I would say, from what I've seen him go for, it's been in the $30 to $40 range, so it hasn't been anything too crazy, like I said, at least not from what I've seen. So I think it was pretty reasonable, and it's really, really, in my opinion, just an absolutely outstanding figure that NECA did. So if you guys are in the market, if you're fans of Alien, and you would like the original Big Chap Xenomorph from the original Alien movie from 1979, this is definitely a good way to go. This one, like I said, was the NECA 35th Anniversary Alien figure. So, other than that, though, folks, I think that pretty much does cover it. So I would definitely like to thank you so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe, please feel free to do so. If you would like to like and or comment on any of my videos, please feel free to do so as well. And just remember, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you be good to yourselves, and sayonara.